A happy life requires searching for ways of human salvation, and perhaps the most important of these ways is the self, liberation from the restrictions set by society, or the problems surrounding the human mind. How does a person free himself? It is a difficult mission but not impossible. That's why the book Yourself comes to inspire us to give ourselves the life we want to live. Especially those who failed many times, and they must have all the methods that will save them and make them achieve freedom of movement. This is how Gary John motivates us in this book and asks us to see the miracle of our existence and to always remember that as we walk along the paths of this life, it is not others who stand in our way, nor our circumstances that disrupt our abilities, but rather it is ourselves. In the first part of this summary, we will discuss the following chapters: the endless cycle, be willing, be wired to win, and boredom. Yourself, by Gary John. Many people find themselves victims of the endless cycle of constant chatters inside their minds, and accordingly they begin to judge themselves. For example, when you keep telling yourself, "You are a loser, you are stupid, you are lazy," and other expressions of frustration and failure. This dead end that all of us go through in frequent moments of our life's journey affects us greatly because we actually believe what we hear from ourselves, and we drown in this vacuum. This vacuum grows little by little as we are unable to face ourselves, and we fail to get it out of this great curse. Despite all these toxic ideas that we keep telling to ourselves, resistance remains a form of self-defense. So don't look for any answer outside yourself. The answer is you. Inside yourself. The writer was telling a group of his clients that people would keep waiting all their lives for the night that will save them, but all this time they did not realize that they were the night. Your whole life is waiting for you to finally appear. Bit to remember: the chatters inside your mind that keeps telling you that you are a loser is what turns your life into a miserable life, so resist them. What prevents a person from achieving his goals and objectives is that there is something making his internal movement very difficult, so that he cannot move forward. And when you are ready to live the life you want, you will feel the inner freedom inside you. Similarly, when you are not ready, you will feel that something is turning your life into a slow movement that burden you and make your life difficult. You always say, "I'm ready but," and consequently you turn yourself into a victim every time you add the word "but" to your sentence. This means that a person either controls his own destiny or is controlled by his own destiny. Life won't wait for us if we stop, apologize, or justify our attitudes and behaviors. Life won't stop if we are afraid or worried. Simply because it will continue to where it was directed without paying attention to us, and the show will continue whether we played a certain role or ignored it. That is why the first form of self-affirmation that any of us should learn is, "I'm willing." Bit to remember: the chatters inside your mind that keeps telling you that you are a loser is what turns your life into a miserable life, so resist them. When a person declares his victory over himself and all the obstacles that stand in front of him, he lives defining moments in his life. And in order to be a winner against all the obstacles that face you in reality, a radical transformation must take you from a state of rest to a state of perpetual motion. Search for lines that connect you with everything related to success, and motivate yourself more and more to achieve this goal. Remember the days you missed appointments, and the days you didn't go to exercise. Also, remember that you must take off the veil of failure and put on the dress of success. In other words, you must admit that you are determined to reach the inevitable victory and you are actually able to accomplish the things you decide to do. Seneca said, "The strength of the mind is the incredible strength." Bit to remember: determination to win is the way to success. What a person should know in this life is that complaining is not a solution in all cases. Surely your life is not like a child starving to death in the streets of a poor country, or living the tragedy of war in a country in the world. There is also a great possibility that your life is not as difficult as the ancient man lived, or as that man that lived before the advanced transportation and communications. This tells us that psychological satisfaction and self-belief are a priceless treasure, and if a person did a simple comparison process, he will discover wonders. We only see small parts of people's lives, while we always remember our problems that others don't. We have to stop complaining and chasing justifications. Just live your real life, instead of talking about it, as this talk will be full of your emotions and nerves. This will help you put things in order, and help you face life and its problems from a position of strength, and weaken the negativity that destroyed your life. Bit to remember, staying away from complaining is another way of life.